So, this is going to be the first episode to my podcast series. It's called Dark Side of the Moon, and it's a sister to Womb Light, my wellness and beauty brand. So, if people can't attend my classes, they'll still be able to join the community and be a part of our discussions. With all this sexual liberation that's been going on, it kind of has me questioning whether it's actually liberation or it's just comfortability with having no boundaries for the body. What I want everyone to do is grab a pen and a notebook, and we'll be able to get through some questions. We're basically going to be doing shadow work and get to the reason why we are the way we are, because truthfully, there's more. Like, you can tell someone to love themselves all day long. You can tell people to get to know themselves. But if they're not doing the actual work, and I don't mean going to the gym and shit, like, I mean doing the actual digging as to why they are the way they are, which is the shadow. First episode, we're going to talk about sexual trauma and how sometimes it could be rooted in childhood. When someone is sexualized before they even know what sex means, it's almost like a seed has been planted. This seed can grow into confusion, shame, or even craving for that feeling back again. Many women and men are judged for being way too promiscuous, but it's not the fact that they're chasing someone else. It's like they're just living out their programming because they may have been programmed to act this way, to behave this way from a young age. And sometimes they were told as children that their value was in their body and what they could give with their bodies. I think what men need to understand is when you are looking to women to extract something instead of nourish or nurture something, it could be dehumanizing. And sometimes it could be opening up old wounds that some women may have not healed or closed from a very young age. You're almost playing into a wound that was there long before you showed up. You're kind of leading into her trauma instead of understanding her humanity. When a girl is sexualized too young by a comment, by harassment, by abuse, it starts to turn into something where she feels like it's her fault. When a child's innocence is stripped, confusion takes flight. That her value might not be in her voice or her mind, but it might be in her body and how it's seen, felt, or by others. And here's the truth, many don't want to face that early violation, that premature sexualization. It shows up years later and as the very thing society will tear her down for. Promiscuity, dancing, sex work are just chasing attention in the wrong places. It's not freedom or it's not liberation, it's trauma replaying itself over and over again. A wound that tries so hard to heal with the same weapon that caused it will never heal. When you approach a woman only for her body, when you pressure her, when you manipulate her, when you try to flirt with her, you're not simply being a man, and this is not simply human nature. You're stepping her into her wound and feeding it. You're replaying the same story that she was forced to forget, or she was forced to live before she had a chance to choose the story for herself. There's so many women that aren't fast, they just were forced to grow up too fast. And Sometimes what that looks like is desire, and it's not. It's a scar that's speaking out loud. So the first question is, and you can write this down as well. I want everybody, man, woman watching, to write these questions down and answer them as well, because this is shadow work. So the first question is, when was the first time I was made aware of my body in a sexual way, and how did it make me feel? Number 2 is, do I carry shame, guilt, or confusion around my sexuality that I can trace back to my childhood or teenage years? And I'm pretty sure a lot of us may feel like that, and that's okay. Teenage years could be pretty wild, but the confusion is not knowing when to start, because there's parties and there's music and there's a bunch of outlets for being hypersexual, especially these days. Like, I really truly worry for the children. Number 3, have I ever used sex, attention, or relationship as a way to cope with pain rather than an expression of true choice? I'm pretty sure almost everybody could say yes to that, because I know for sure I did it in the past. Because I do believe that there's a deprivation of love going on in the world, and it's far beyond romantic. It's almost like currency now, like a trade, I guess I would say. 4, if I'm a man, have I ever pursued a woman in a way that ignored her humanity and only focused on what I wanted? How might that connect to her wounds? This is such a touchy topic, and I see why it goes unexplored, because it hurts me. We can't heal these things by covering it up with aesthetics. We can't heal it by drinking all the green juice or going to fitness classes. Healing starts with truth. Healing starts with the shadow. It starts with asking what was planted in me before I had the chance to bloom. And it starts with men asking themselves, am I chasing her, or am I preying on her? Am I ignoring her humility, or am I after her body? Like, the light can't reach the dark side of the moon until we turn to face it, until we stop shaming women for how they cope and start questioning the systems, the history, and the silence that shaped them. Only then can sexuality be reclaimed as something sacred and something chosen, not something stolen. And that's the dark side of the moon. The side we don't talk about, the promiscuity. It's not always a choice, but sometimes it's survival.